So begins the end for Darkseid.
I've never seen a being this strong. Maybe one. He's back.
I spent a lot of time trying to divide us. I made a promise to him on his grave. I need to bring us together. There are enemies coming from far away.
They serve an old power.
This world is divided. No protectors here. No lanterns. No Kryptonium. It will fall in his name. I have turned worlds to dust. All of existence shall be mine.
I have a second chance. I am not gonna waste it.
He said the age of heroes would never come again.
You're fighting the devil and his army. You know,
I don't care how many demons he's fought and how many hells. He's never fought us united.
It's time to stand, fight. The time is now.
Silver Screen Superman. This is Silver Screen Superman. I'll watch every feature that's starring that creature from the planet Krypton, even the one with John Cryer.
Well, here we are. Thursday night, July 10th. Welcome back to Silver Screen Superman, where today I am saying goodbye to Henry Cavill as Superman. Yes, he shows up for a few seconds at the end of Black Adam. And yes, someone pretending to be him from the neck down shows up at the end of Shazam. But this movie, the movie that I watched today, that I took all day to watch, really felt like the goodbye, officially, for Henry Cavill's Superman. And for me, it felt like one last goodbye to the DCEU, the DC Extended Universe, the Snyderverse, whatever you want to call it. And there were moments where I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to miss some of it, but not a lot of it. It's funny that I feel like this is the goodbye. Now, this movie, technically, the first version of it came out in 2017. It only was preceded by Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, and Wonder Woman. And after Man of Steel, which, had middling reviews, Dawn of Justice got kind of eviscerated. Suicide Squad, again, was really kind of not very high on the, as far as like critical praise. Then you got Wonder Woman, who all of a sudden was like, wow, that's a breath of fresh air. Everyone was excited about it. And only a few months later, we get Justice League. Now, I got my buddy Dave to go see Dawn of Justice with me. I got my buddy Dave to go see Wonder Woman. I shouldn't say got to. He wanted to see Wonder Woman. So we saw that together. I didn't see... I saw them out of order. I didn't see Suicide Squad, I think, till the following summer. Summer of 2017. So I saw it out of order. But I didn't get anybody to go with me to see Justice League. And there should be an episode of the podcast covering the original Justice League and covering Zack Snyder's Justice League, the version that I watched today for Big Screen Batman. I'm going to put links to those in the show notes for today, so you can go back and hear what I have to say about both of those movies, or both versions of the same movie, if you want. I understand. So we get Justice League, and it's kind of like, well, okay, this might be something. I saw it, and I just remember thinking, it's great to see my favorite characters out here, but I think I like it. That's how I went. I think I like it. And as today, as I think that today is goodbye, in reality, let's say this is the 2017 version. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 movies that come after this. Okay. Just Justice League. Let's say we get with the by itself 2017 Justice League. Then you got Aquaman, Shazam, Birds of Prey, the Harley Quinn movie. You got Wonder Woman 84, the Suicide Squad, Black Adam, Shazam 2, The Flash, and Blue Beetle, and then Aquaman and The Lost Kingdom, which all those came in 2023. So the world is not that... It's not like years and years have gone by. It's like, okay, by the time The Flash was coming out, James Gunn had already taken control of DC Studios. They've already made the announcements. I don't know if they technically said we're working on the new Superman yet. I think they were, but it's like all these things, all these movies have already happened, and that's just with the movie I'm watching today. Except the movie I'm watching today isn't from 2017. In a very strange, weird way, we got the quote-unquote real version of this movie, the director's true vision, and what a vision it was, in 2021. 4 years after the fact. HBO started its own streaming service. Warner Brothers started its own streaming service. It used to be called HBO Max. Then, of course, they changed the name to Max. And then, of course, they just recently changed it back to HBO Max. So I think I watched some of yesterday's movie on Max and finished on HBO Max. I think they were just dying for content. So they gave Zack Snyder $70 million to go back, clean up his movie, give it shoot new scenes. That is unprecedented, it is unheard of, and it's extremely unnecessary when you think about it. I don't know what it accomplished. Now, I remember there being like this big event. I think the CW had specials about it, getting excited with Zack Snyder, and I have to tell you, I was excited. I think that this was the culmination of Big Screen Batman. I think it was the last Big Screen Batman podcast episode I did. It was March of 2021, and I took the day out of work. I had a T-shirt. I think I just recently became part of the DC Infinite Universe of Justice, whatever the app, and I had a coupon for a shirt. I either had $20 off or something, and technically it is a Zack Snyder's Justice League T-shirt. I've lost weight since then, so it's a little big on me, but it's got the crew. It's a very dark black shirt, and the whole Justice League is kind of in gray, and behind them is Darkseid, because he's the villain of this movie. Correct? Right? Yes? No? Oh, he isn't? No. It is unprecedented that we get a complete retelling of this movie, and it's the last version I watched. I guess it is the ultimate version. It is the version that you should see, the version that the original director actually, intended, or at least a longer version of that. Because if you don't know, which I feel like anybody listening to this probably does know, but Zack Snyder's daughter passed away. I believe it was a suicide, which is an awful, terrible, any passing away is awful and terrible, but this is a very personal, tragic thing to happen to a man, and he needed to leave this movie, and they gave it to Joss Whedon to take it over, and I don't think Joss Whedon's done anything since then. I think things have come out about him being kind of a dick. I don't know if he's a creep, but I think he's a dick. I'm not sure exactly. I know in my head what the distinction is. I'm not sure. He may be a creepy dick. He may be a dicky creep. I'm not sure. But I know he's done like one TV show or something. Like, he hasn't done much since then. And remember, didn't he direct like the first 2 Avengers? He was in the thick of things with Marvel. Comes over here, tries to make this movie lighter. Brings back Henry Cavill, puts the terrible mustache on him. I finished today's movie. Then I went back and go, how did the last one end? And the last one ended with Superman flying off. And I was like, oh, I kind of like that. And then there was a fun little race, the classic race of the Flash and Superman. I was like, well, I kind of like that too, because it shows the levity and the fun that is in a comic book movie. And Zack Snyder's like, no, everything must be muted tones. And there was a scene where Martha got the farmhouse back, the Kent farmhouse. And I think a lot of the shots were the same, but there's the coloring of the Zack Snyder's version. They came out with a black and white version. Why bother? You could like turn it down a little bit on your TV, and the saturation, and boom, you're in black and white already. It's a very muted, dull, color tone, dull movie. It's weird because when I watched it the first time, I was like, oh, this is the ultimate version. This is great. I'm seeing my characters. I like this. It got, I think it got in the 71 or something for Rotten Tomatoes. When I watched it today, it felt like there were things in there that I liked. I did not like that first of all, they turned it into a 4-hour movie in like 6 chapters or something like that. And all of a sudden, Harry Lennox's character is the Martian Manhunter. And at the end, he's like, and some people call me the Martian Manhunter. And I was like, ugh, that's a little clunky. The Steppenwolf character, the villains of this movie kind of sucked in general. Now, as like, to my friends, I'm this big comic book nerd. To actual comic book aficionados, I probably look like some sort of like noob who doesn't know I think noob's the right thing, who doesn't know things, because I didn't know Steppenwolf. I knew Darkseid, but I didn't know Steppenwolf. And having him be kind of he was the main villain of the first Justice League. And in this one, they have him like, I must get to the real, to the master, who we know is Darkseid because he's on the T-shirt. We get one like flashback fight of him, and then one where he's kind of looking through a cosmic window like, hi, I'm Darkseid, I'm over here, but I'm not going to get you this time.
I'll get you next time, Gadget.
I feel like I made that joke I wonder if I made that joke. If you go back and listen, because I'm not going to, but if you go back and listen, I wonder if I made that exact same joke. What was I saying? The whole thing with Steppenwolf and him talking to some other guy named Desaad and them talking about another person, like it was just felt clunky and complicated, overly cosmic, overly just a little too heavy-handed. All those flying, Mothmen. Again, how did Batman have this exact dream? What was the whole thing? I guess the thing with, the Flash, the Flash showing up from the future in a dream. Also, he has another dream that if you let Lois die, they're like, oh, Lois is the key. Lois brought, Clark back to, he brought his memories back. But the truth is, if Lois dies, Superman turns bad. And I'm not a fan of Superman turning bad because I love Superman. And yet, I read the DC Injustice, whatever it's called, which is a digital comic based on a video game. And it was so good. It was so much fun. I loved it. And yes, in that, something happens very similar to this, and something happens very similar to the Superman we see at the end. That's all I'll say about that. So while I don't like the idea of that happening to Superman, you just gotta say, okay, it happened. Now, how do we deal with it? What happens to the story from here on out? And Tom Taylor, ridiculous, how it was these digital comics, meaning, they're very much like you just swipe right, and these panels that are really made for your iPod or your iPad or your phone, and they're quick reads. And every ending, you're like, whoa, hey, what? And there was because it was an alternative universe, there was big stakes where major characters are dying, major characters are turning evil, and it was tons of fun. In fact, I recently went back and I thought I finished it. I thought I never finished it, but I went back and read Injustice 2, and there was a spin-off. I think I've read them all, but if I didn't, I want to. And that made me want to read more Tom Taylor, so I went and read his Nightwing run, which was incredible. I don't say that often, and I'm awfully I like the character. It doesn't matter who writes it. Apparently, it does, because certain writers, I'm like, wow, this is so much fun and so different than other things I read. And some of the Tom Taylor stuff just feels like a breeze to read. So that was just my long way of saying, in this epilogue, in this version, we get I guess, kind of the Injustice future. And again, it's Zack Snyder's way of doing it, but I don't hate that as an option because I've read about it. Now I'm thinking I think I was already reading that at this time. I don't know what I saw first, the Zack Snyder or the Injustice. I'm not sure. Either way, that was just a dream, and I still don't understand how Batman can have that dream. That doesn't make any sense to me. And the Martian Manhunter shows up. He's like, hey, any help we can get? And he's like, we'll set a round table and have more people. And I'm thinking, yes, more Justice League, more superheroes. Maybe the Blue Beetle will show up. Well, he won't. Nobody will, because it's over, Johnny. So there was, and the last thing we see in this is Martian Manhunter flying. I was like, he's the last thing we see. This is my last. That's why I went back to the other Justice League and watched the last few minutes, because in that one, the last thing we see is Superman opening up his shirt and being in the red and blue and flying off. I do not understand why he's in the black suit in this. It looks cool. Yes, Superman has worn a black suit with the silver S. But I don't understand why in this he needed to do it. Like he's walking through the Kryptonian ship that has all these different outfits and armors, and you see the red and blue suit, and then he turns and he comes out in the black suit. And there was no reason. It wasn't like, I don't feel like myself. I don't feel like I've earned it. Nothing like that. He just did. Does it look cool? Yes. This was me watching Superman movies, getting ready for tomorrow. and a 4-hour movie, 3 hours pretty much without Superman. That's, I love Batman too, and whatever you say about these movies, I love Affleck's Batman. I really kind of do, and I think it's a shame we never got his movie. Watching all these Justice League, the team here, and I'm like, Flash gets a movie, Aquaman gets a movie, and Wonder Woman gets a movie. We don't get one for Batman. We never get another one for Superman, and we don't get Superman got one solo movie when you think about it. He shares the screen with Batman in the next one. He shares the screen with everyone in this one. Batman floats around. Batman shows up in the friggin' Flash. And Victor, he doesn't get his own movie. You know what? A lot of this movie, we got Victor's story from like start to finish. We got the full enchilada. I was okay with that. I think the actor was okay. He's very quiet. He's very much like this. He very much did not like Joss Whedon, and I think he was very happy to be back with Zack Snyder. Because we got that epilogue. He's in it. All of a sudden, is it Slade Wilson? We got this coda, this ending, whatever you want to say, where Joe Megaliato shows up and to Lex Luthor, who broke out of prison, kept the shaved head, even though they shaved his head, he's not growing back. I guess he's keeping it. And in the original version, he says, "Oh, I guess they're starting some sort of league." I was like, okay, that's a little ham-fisted. But he goes, don't you think we should have a league of our own? Which is a play on the League of Their Own, and also a play on like the Doom, the bad guys, the Legion of Doom, I guess. Which, okay, like it's a little, comic booky, and that's fine because I'm all for comic books. That's what these are based on. In the new version, the Zack Snyder version, he says, oh, you want to go after Batman? That's fine. By the way, Batman, he's Bruce Wayne. And Slade Wilson's like, oh, really? Okay, I'm in. We do have something to celebrate. So, again, none of this matters. There's no consequence of this. I don't know. We had other movies after this, and nothing came of it. Well, I shouldn't say that because... No, we had other movies even after this 2021 version. But you know what would have been funny is if then they made another movie and everyone knew he's Batman. And like, how did everyone know? Oh, you didn't watch the Zack Snyder version on HBO Max? Well, that's when we found out that he knew who Batman was. Even though I guess he knew because he was so excited for Clark Kent to meet Bruce Wayne. Anyway, it is an odd... bitter. It's a weird feeling because I'm looking at Henry Cavill smiling as Superman. I'm like, awesome. And it's almost like, thank you for your time. Thank you for the movies. Thank you for being a bright spot in some gray movies with some really over-the-top stylized directing, some really not great villains. And the whole thing, look, again, like I said, I don't know about mother boxes. I heard about, what are they, boom tubes or something like I knew about that. I knew about Darkseid and Apocalypse, but I didn't know mother boxes. And I feel like it was too in the weeds, too not complicated, but too nerdy. And in this version, Victor's dad dies. In the original theatrical cut, he's there at the end. So people die that didn't die, people live that didn't live. It's an interesting, the whole thing is interesting that it actually happened. I'll say that. That's the craziest thing, that people begging for years for this to happen, whether or not it's people actually doing it or bots or whatever you want, or a handful of quote unquote toxic fans. And I was all on board. And when they announced it, I have to say I was pumped because I was like, we're getting more. At that time, there was nothing. So we're getting more and we're stuck at home most of the time. This is fantastic. Was it fantastic? No. But am I glad it happened? Hell yeah. I got to watch it. I got to watch it again. Will I watch this 4-hour movie a third time? Probably not. I don't think. And hopefully I won't have to. Hopefully one day I'll go, oh, remember when they did that Justice League? That was fun. But look at this now. I don't understand people that are like, it's this or this. It's, we're Snyder fans. Bring the app back. We need Henry Cavill back as Superman. No, we don't. You know what we need? We need Superman. Henry Cavill's not Superman. Christopher Reeve is not Superman. Dean Cain certainly is not Superman. Tyler Kickner, he's not Superman. Brandon Routh is not Superman. Superman is Superman. These people brought him to life. Tom Welling. These people brought the man that we read about to the screen for us to enjoy. And now it's time for David Cornsweet to be Superman. He's not Superman. He's just a man who I lost my train of thought. It made sense in my head where they don't define the character. The character defines the character. If you care that much that you wouldn't go see this, then you're not a Superman fan. It's just plain and simple. I'm a Superman fan, so I am effing, sorry for the language, pumped. Effing pumped for tomorrow. Okay? My buddy's girlfriend texted, said, it's amazing. I love it. I don't think my buddy's a big of a fan, but his girlfriend seems to be like a big fan. And she's like, loved it. I said, awesome, great. I didn't want to hear anything else. I actually didn't want to hear good things. I'm like, I don't want to hear someone loved it. I want my opinion to be my opinion. It's already a little too late for that because you see a lot of mostly good reviews. And, I have a cousin who is not a DC fan, and he sends me one thing from like one comment. I'm like, get the hell out of here. It's already the best movie of all time. You can put that on the poster. You can quote me. So I am thrilled to be watching this. We just ordered food. We got some chicken tenders, some nachos, and a Superman commemorative cup coming right to our seat. I've never done that before. I've done it at like a Chunky's. I don't know if you're a Chunky's. It's like a cinema pub where you sit in these old cars, but not at a Cinemark. I've never done it there, so we're excited. I'm going to leave here about 3:20 p.m. tomorrow. Get there. Show my wife all the exits. This is where you can go to the bathroom because I ain't getting up. I will pee in my pants in this seat. I'm not getting up until the end of the credits. That's it. Part of me was thinking, is this the end of Silver Screen Superman? Should the next episode just be its own Superman and then later do another version of it? No. Silver Screen Superman is about Superman bringing it to the screen. Batman ended with even though it wasn't a silver screen technically, it ended with the reimagining of the Justice League. And Superman can't end with that because tomorrow everything's new. Everything starts over. And I'm ready for it. And I know I'm going to go in probably in love with it. But what I hope is that this is just the beginning. Because we have this. Whatever happens, we have this. But I don't want it to be like, that was great. Too bad, XYZ. Too bad it went this way. Too bad nothing came of this or that. I want it to be like, wow, remember... you know what? You can't help but compare it. When you saw Iron Man, you didn't know what was happening. You didn't know what the plan was. You knew there were other things, but you didn't know exactly. And now you look back and you go, wow, that started everything. And I want to copy that. For lack of any better way of saying it, I want Superman to be like, wow, that was the beginning of an incredible decade of, whatever. I mean, we're almost on 20 years now for Marvel when you think about it. It's crazy. Give me something. Give me something exciting for the next decade. Make me excited. And if we're getting the Batman, does the Batman... Look, Joker, he's over there. But the Batman, he could still be part of this. I don't know anything. I don't know if there's any spoilers. I don't know if there's any surprises. As far as spoilers with, storyline, I don't know about that. What I don't want to know is any surprises. I have no idea. I hope there are. And I can explain it to my wife on the way home. But I'm just pumped. And rewatching these from the bad to the middling to the eye rolling to the great. It's been fun getting ready and coming back. And I've only podcasted about a few of them, but I went all the way back to 78 because I did those episodes already. I've only done 3 of the new episodes, and this is the 4th one. But I am ready for tomorrow. The problem is I have to work I only work till noon tomorrow. We have half-day Fridays in the summer. And we have a coffee hour, too. So I'm going to show up at the coffee hour fully decked out in my Superman outfit, letting them know, guess what I'm doing today. But I'm ready, and I'm pumped, and I'm ready for a super day. In fact, today, in front of me right now, I went to Dairy Queen to get the Superman specific Blizzard. I'm going to have a little bite of that right after I stop recording. And yeah, we did it. We waited for years. I feel like it's been years since James Gunn announced this. I don't know. It felt like a long time. And then we got the first image. And then later we get the first trailer. And now tomorrow it's here. And I feel like it's Christmas Day. Christmas Day for nerds. And I'm a nerd. So I will be back tomorrow talking about this. I will be back tomorrow talking about the brand new Superman. So I hope that you are here as well. But until then, you can follow me on all the socials at Geek Mentality, except TikTok, which is Geek Mentality Mike. If you're on TikTok, Geek Mentality Mike, please. On Facebook, it's Fans Not Experts. On YouTube, it's Fans Not Experts. That's because the website where every episode of this podcast and every other podcast I do is fansnotexperts.com. We did it. I'm ready. We made it. One more day. And tomorrow is friggin' Superman. Woo! All right. Until then, my friends, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. And here is my theme song. This is my podcast. I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe. 'Cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time. And I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans Not Experts.